Boards of education were established also by the statutes. Now, what is their power? The powers are defined in Connecticut General Statute 10-220. That's a long statute. If you scroll down when you look at it to subsection E, that's the important part that you want to know for our purposes today. That says each local and regional board of education shall establish a school district curriculum committee. The committee shall recommend, develop, review, and approve all curriculum for the local or regional school district. Period. That is what your local board is authorized and mandated to do, to establish curriculum. Not the State Board of Education, not the federal government. This is defined in our statutes already. It is the job of the local school board to develop and implement curriculum. Next slide. Other statutes. We have other statutes, of course. 10-157B requires public high school and public institutions of higher education to complete curricular alignment to enable the successful completion of high school mathematics and language arts curricula as described in Connecticut's Common Core standards. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean the State Board of Education can compel the local district to adopt the Common Core standards as curriculum? No. Look at the language again. This was another way to try to do that, but knowing that we still have the local board's authority to develop curriculum. So it says, here, the local school board is complete curricular alignment to enable successful completion of high school math and language arts. So, okay, so your local school board can align it any way they choose as long as your students can pass math and language arts described in Common Core. So you can have a curriculum based on the Massachusetts curriculum by Dr. Stotsky or whoever, whatever curriculum you think is the appropriate curriculum, as long as your kids can pass whatever it is in Common Core. That's what it says. It does not say you have to adopt Common Core. It does not say that at all. Why? Because they know what the actual law says. They know they did not want to take that authority away from the local boards because there would be heck to pay if they did. That's why they worded that statute the way they did. Aligned to Common Core does not mean we compel you to adopt Common Core. Connecticut General Statute 1014N, again, this is the one about the testing. Now, this statute requires each student enrolled in certain grades to take a mastery examination in reading, writing, mathematics, and science. Does that say we compel you to take the SBAC test or the PARCC test? No. It says the students enrolled in certain grades are to take a mastery examination. The local board can have some say in that now, can't it? Now, the mastery test, though, it goes on to say, shall be provided by and administered under the State Board of Education. But that does not mean that the local board has no say in that, or the people have no say, or the teachers or the parents have no say in that. They can go and talk to the State Board of Education and demand it be a particular test. There is no reason why not, because the statute doesn't say which test. It just says a mastery examination. If the test that's being offered is not a mastery examination, then it doesn't fit the law, does it? So there are a lot of arguments to be made here, and that's why it's important for each one of you, especially if your local Board of Education members, to review these statutes, to know what the rights are, to know what they say and what they don't say. There is no statute also that addresses the issue of opting out of that test or any other standardized test. However, there is no statute that precludes a parent from opting their child out of that or any other test as well. Next slide. Again, going back in time to our Constitution, parents, we the people, have an inalienable right to the upbringing and education of our children. That's one of the rights we retain. We already had it from time immemorial, and we still have it. And there are certain cases that the United States Supreme Court has decided affirming that you have the right as a parent to the upbringing and education of your child. Not the state, not the federal government, not the local Board of Education. You as a parent have that unalienable right. So when parents bring their children to school, they're basically giving up that right temporarily during that day to the local school to educate their child at that time. It's called in loco parentis. The school is taking the place of the parent for that time, for that purpose of education. But you, the parent, are voluntarily doing that by enrolling your child and bringing that child to school. So if the child is being harmed by something that's happening in the school, whether it's a fight by somebody else, whether it's a teacher being abusive, whatever it is, a curriculum that is abusive, a test that is abusive, if the child is being harmed, you as a parent still have your unalienable right to protect that child, to the upbringing and education of that child. No one has taken that away. In fact, there is a statute that says you are required to protect your child. That's 46B-129. So if you're not protecting your child, conceivably, you could get in trouble for not protecting the child. So, bottom line, we the people created our government, giving some powers to the federal government, retaining the rest for the states and ourselves. In the states, we gave certain powers to our state legislature, but what powers we gave to any government, we gave for a particular purpose to secure and protect our already existing unalienable rights. Our state legislature gave the power to develop and implement curriculum in our public schools to the local boards of education, and that's a fact. Local boards of education have the power to accept or reject any proposed curriculum, but ultimately, the parents retain their unalienable right to the upbringing and education of their children and may choose what is best for them. That's all I have to say. It's very simple. You have the power of the local board and the parents, and you can choose whatever you want to do with that power. Okay? Thank you very much.